what's up guys? It's Dave Atkinson here from Drumeo, and I wanted to film a quick lesson showing you how you can turn any kind of pattern that you know into a groove. Now I get questions all the time from drummers asking, how do I become more creative? How do I create my own grooves? How do I apply my rudiments into my playing? And this concept is going to show you exactly how to do that. It's just one way of many, but check it out. So the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out what makes up a groove. Now for the most part, a groove will consist of a downbeat, which is usually played on the bass drum on the 1 count, and a backbeat, which is usually played on the 2 and 4 on the snare. Now for these exercises and for these patterns that we're going to turn into grooves, what we're going to be doing is adding a kick drum on the 1 and the 3, and a snare drum on the 2 and the 4. And you can apply that to anything that you're already practicing, whether it's on the practice pad, whether it's on the toms, whether it's a pattern that your guitarist has, a little lick that he plays, whatever it is, add the downbeat, add the backbeat, and you got yourself a groove. So let's start with the absolute basics. Let's choose a pattern that any beginner can play, put it around the toms, give it some melody, and we'll make it into a groove. Something like this. All right, so once you've got that pattern down, it's time to add in your downbeat or your bass drum. Now we're going to play the bass drum on the 1 and the 3 count. Sounds like this. Now, just add the backbeat in, the snare on the 2 and the 4, and you got yourself a pretty cool sounding groove. Check it out. All right, so that seems pretty simple, and that's because it actually is. Now let's take this a little step further. Let's try a rudiment. Take the flam accent, for example, and play it on the snare drum. So before we even think about applying this to a groove, let's just play the flam accent in 16th note triplets on the snare drum, just like this. Now let's add the downbeat and the backbeat and come up with a really cool sounding groove. One thing to keep in mind, because we're already playing this on the snare, I'm going to drop the volume of my other notes just so I can accent that backbeat. Check it out. Let's try something else. Let's try a flam paradiddle, okay? Play the flam paradiddle on the hi-hats, just like this. And then add in the kick and the snare. Check it out. Now for some of you more intermediate and advanced drummers, let's take this one step further and choose a pattern that's more odd, like a grouping of 5, something that sounds like this. So now let's take that 5-note grouping pattern that most of you guys might already know already, play it on the ride cymbal with one hand, add in a downbeat, add in your backbeat, and you can come up with a pretty cool sounding groove. Check this one out. So it's as simple as that, coming up with a pattern, an exercise, maybe it's like I said, a riff that your guitarist is playing, putting a downbeat to it and putting a backbeat to it. I want to challenge you guys to come up with your own grooves this way, maybe take some rudiments that you're already practicing, add that downbeat and backbeat in and come up with a groove of your own. Again, thanks for watching. It's Dave Atkinson, the community manager for Drumeo Edge, where we get to hang out, chat about drums, and watch a bunch of lessons all the time. If you want more information on what Drumeo Edge is all about, just check the link in the description of this video. I'll see you guys all around.